We're going to go through this painting step by step. Let's talk about the color we are using. The professional grade Winsor & Newton paints. There are three primary colors. This is the Winsor yellow, there's a Winsor red, and the Winsor blue-green shade. There's the three color over here. And I'm also going to have some French ultramarine, which is the red shaded blue color. I'm going to add a little bit here at the corner. And I'm going to explain to you why I also need to use this color. Every little color, every little thing that I'm going to try to paint, in my mind is always separated into yellow, red, and blue color. You can use the graphite pencil to draw out the composition. I'm sure you guys probably already finished that drawing. I'm going to use just the calligraphy brush. Speaking of brushes, let me introduce you the set of brushes that enjoyingart use. This brush can contain lots of paints, very detailed works with the same brush. And this brush, I'm going to use it for covering the background, the big areas. This one is a 1-inch flat brush. Also from the natural gold here. Let's mix a little light color. I'm going to take a look at the location of the girls. And I'm going to include the head, the beautiful head. And then this would be the front, this would be the back, there will be the front. So you can use a hand, and this would be the chin, right? Get an idea before you start painting a drawing on it. So I'm going to see that this would be the bottom of the head, right there. And I'm going to maybe add a little blue color, like that. Okay. Make it a little bit darker so you can see a little bit better. So this would be the chin. Okay, so I'm going to put the chin over here. And think about the front and the back. And the front will be coming down right from here. That's the forehead, right? So this is looking at the forehead over here, the chin. The forehead and the chin over here is the chin a little bit in. So you can see the entire shape actually like this, right? You can see that it's just not straight vertical. So always compare. And we do have a lot of video talk about how to measure and how to take care of the fundamental drawing issues. And let's take a look at the eyebrows would be around here. And the nose a little bit higher than the middle point. So I'm going to put that right here. Just one thing at a time when you are doing the drawing or the painting. Okay, you don't want to try to cram everything into one step. It's going to make you feel really unrelaxing. Okay, I'm going to have the cheek over here and then the mouth, and find the bigger composition, the bigger elements before you find the smaller. So now I have the location of the front of the face. And you may be thinking about, oh wow, how I'm going to erase it? I better use graphite. Don't worry, you can erase it just with water, because this is watercolor, right? So you can erase this. It's pretty easy. Like the chin over here, have something come out, I can just softly use the water and remove it. Okay, you see that? It's kind of feeling like easier than the graphite pencil, right? Okay, now I'm going to keep going with this and have this line and coming all the way like this. Okay, that's the head. You relate the head over here with the chin. The head is it's very much the same angle. So it's a little bit higher than this. You can compare that over here. You can see the angle, the angular line, and from here coming up like that. So we're going to mix the right color for this as well. So looking at the head coming up this way and move it to here. And then look at this from the chin over here coming up like this curve. You can see that this is the back of the head. Now take a look at the head, the hair. See how sharp this brush can give you. Now take a look at from here, the hair and the back coming all the way down over here. And take a look at the hair over here. And on this side, there you go. Like that. And have some color all the way coming over here like that, and over here also have some hair, the front over here. Here you go. Now there is the dress over here. I'm gonna just put a little mark over here, and like that, and the shoulder, right? So if you already finished your drawing, so you can just enjoy and watching me. And here you go. And now the hair over here, put it long hair, beautiful long hair. Now take a look at the ear. Now, when you do the ear, you need to relate to the face, right? This is the eyebrows area, and the ear a little bit lower than the eyebrows, so move it a little bit lower. And take a look at the width compared to the height. So I can see that it probably from the eye to the chin, it goes the eye to the ear. So I'm gonna take a look at this, the eye to the chin, compare the eye. Oh, this is very much the right place. So I'm gonna put it right here. Okay, let me know if you have any questions, and I would answer you as I am continue painting. The paper I'm using is a cold press watercolor paper. It's a block from Arches. So if you paint a little bit faster, and it will create dry brush effect. If you draw a little bit slowly with this, you see it, and you can have a little bit more smooth brush mark, right? Okay, so very much the drawing, the composition is already there. Now let me talk about the paint color. We say the light purple color. That's why I'm using this red shade blue color, the French ultramarine. And if you have compare this color with that color have a little bit green shade, right? You see a little greenish feeling. And if you want to have a good purple color, a good pinky color, then you need to put the red color and this color together. I'm going to mix that together. You see, you can get some really nice, more purple color, more pure purple color. So I'm going to have a little color over here like that. And here you go. Maybe a little bit more red. And so just think about between the two colors. And okay, now I'm going to have a little bit yellow coming down like this. Right now, it's just do a little drawing. Okay, put it down like this. So a little bit. There's a little big shade coming over there. But when we paint the whole big area, and those things doesn't really matter much because it's going to be destroyed anyway. Okay. All right, now the drawing is finished. What we're going to do next? We're going to start using the flat brush. Okay, now I'm going to put the brush down, and I'm going to use this 1-inch flat brush. It's very easy, very good. We have to take care of the whole big composition before we go into the detail. We have to remember that. It's very important. Okay, where we're going to start. Either we start from the background or we start from the face. The face has a very nice color, so I'm going to do a little basic coverage to the face first before we're going into the background. Okay, because if you do the background, you have to wait until the face dries anyway. So at this point, I'm going to use the colors a little bit drier, not too wet, okay? And just going to take a little bit of this color. You see that all the three color here can let you to mix any color you need. I'm going to have a little bit lighter first, a little bit water like this. Now take a look right here. That's a little red. Take a look at the forehead like that. Here you go. And now I'm going to go over the whole area and take a look at the shape of the nose like that. Here you go. And I'm going to paint it over the hair. That's okay. And I'm going to just a little light red color and keep going. And at the bottom over here, we can see that the color a little bit darker. Well, always notice the value before notice the color. It's a little bit darker, but what color is it? Now I'm going to have a little bit blue color, a little bit red, and this become a little bit darker, like a little brown color. I'm going to put this color right over here. See that? Immediately look a little bit darker, maybe a little bit more blue, right? You feel it. You feel it. There's supposed to be a little bit cooler color. Okay, I'm going to have a little bit blue, maybe a little bit too much. And I'm going to let go and clean the brush and have a little bit red back over here. Okay, now I'm going to have a little bit this color, a little bit cooler. That's good, like that. And at the bottom, have a little bit more red because the color reflected the dress and also the skin color, also the hair. That's have a little bit more warmer color, right? So I'm gonna have a little bit red. Take a little red color over here. Now here you go. Now I'm gonna just add a little red color because wet into wet, so the color actually connect together. Take a look at the shade over there. It's good, like that. And you stay at the corner, and that's okay for now. And I'm gonna keep going onto this side, and the brown color or the skin, the hair, we can adjust it by using lifting. And I'm gonna show you how to use the basic watercolor technique and create those. And the shoulder over here have a little bit yellow color. You can see that have a little bit yellow, like more like a little bit orange color. So take this color together. See that how easy? You just think a little bit easier and don't have to think complicated. Okay. In here, we're gonna see a little darker color. Just keep thinking about dark. I always say how dark before I talk about what color is it. Yeah, a little bit cooler, like that. There's a little bit right in here, like that. And here you go. Now I'm going to just paint the base color onto the hair. And even though the hair over here is going to be a little bit darker because it has catch the shadow right under here, right? So like coming here, that's good. So this is the foundation. And take a look at over here. And while I'm painting, I want to introduce you to the Enjoying Art community. No, we not just welcome everyone. Hopefully we will find more like-minded artists that like to share their knowledge and help each other. That's the people we want to work with over the years. We try to help each member to become a better artist and try to reach to our each person's goal. And so whatever the artistic goal that you have, we try to help each other to become a better. And if you think that you should be one of us, then you can take a look at it and come to join us. Okay. Now I'm gonna have a little bit here over here. Don't worry, you're never gonna make a mistake. Everything you do, it actually become the mark of your creativity. So this should have a little transition. So I'm gonna stop that over here. I'm gonna have a little blue color. Okay. Have a little bit darker, have a little bit red. Now, always think about how dark that color should be. And if just the blue and the red color together, it's actually become very dark. I'm going to have this color here, right behind the ear. I'm going to add the color for the ear very soon. And this is also soft, very wet into wet. Okay, that's good. Like that. And I'm going to clean the brush. I'm going to do a little soften the transition. I'm going to have a little bit orange color. Okay, have a little red. That's good. A little bit this color. And I'm going to, I don't really need that much wet. Let go some of the water. I'm going to just put it here. See that? Have a little half translucent color. Coming to that. Here you go. Make this a little bit softer. Like that. There you go. A little bit, just use half of the brush. You see that? This two brush work really well, especially this large brush can take care of a lot of stuff and with a very minimum effort. but you don't need to worry about that. You say, oh my God, how am I going to use that giant brush? It's not that big. It's okay. Now, this is very much the foundations of the portrait. Even though I would like to add a little bit brown color, I'm going to take a little bit here, a little bit darker, right at the eye area. Just looking at the bigger shape. This is the shape of the shadow. You don't want to just paint the eye. You need to paint the structure of the eye before you can paint the eye, right? Otherwise, the eye, it doesn't look like sitting on the structure of the face. Okay, that's good. I'm going to make that a little bit softer. You see, just half of the brush. It's very simple, very easy. And now come back over here. Now I'm going to use a little red color. Continue. I'm going to take a little red color. Just take the red color from the color palette. Just put it here. Now you can see a little bit darker, showing the face turning a little bit. As we are doing all this, and the color getting drier and drier, so we're going to ready to coming into paint the background. Now I'm going to just clean the brush, right? So I'm going to softly have blend it over this. Okay, like that. That's good. In our last section of today's event, we talk about the fundamental. So also talk about how my paper placed on the table. So if you missed that part, you can go over, take a look at our last video. So now make this a little bit darker like that. And then change it back to a little bit red color. So the watercolor, after it dries, is always feeling a little lighter than it should. So it's okay. It's just going to, when you see it, when you need to add color to it, you just add some color to it. Okay, now I'm going to just add a little red color at the bottom over here. That is fine. All right. The question is, why do I use the Windsor blue green shade instead of the red shade? The Windsor blue color, it always offers there's a green shade and red shade as two different choices. So you have to choose on if you want to use the red shade and what's going to happen. And there's no yellow color in that blue color. So which is just the green. There's a little red color into it, added to kind of looks like a little warmer blue color. For example, if you want beautiful yellow-green color, in that case, you better don't have the red color into it. Otherwise, you're going to be a little bit gray, green color, right? Then you will use just this color with the yellow color because it has no red color in this blue. But if you want to have the beautiful purplish color, you better to use the red shade. Most of the time when you mix the color with all three colors together, it doesn't matter which blue color you're going to use because here it has yellow, red, and blue color. But if you like the way I paint, well, copy my system and then later you can modify it to become your own. Okay. Now this already dry, and since I'm talking, and I'm going to use just the corner of this flat brush. Now I'm going to just soften it. Okay. Different color, different paper, different brush that you use actually affecting the look of your painting. That also some people call it is as a style. Actually, it's not such style there. It's about how you express it, what you want to express. Now, I think this is good for the face over here. We can come back to do a lot more later. And the next thing, I'm going to put some color to the ear at this point. I'm going to just mix the color. Squint your eye if you can. So you can see how dark the color is supposed to be. And I mix a little darker color, but this color a little bit just purple. I'm going to have a little bit more yellow. So make it feel like a little bit brown. But I'm going to have a little bit red. Okay, a little bit red. Okay. Here you go. Now I'm going to put it here. So you're not just looking at the color. You also need to analyze it. How dark is that color would be. If the color too light, it won't look right. It will pop up because the value contrast too high, right? So I'm going to put a little color darker in the inside over here. A little bit too much blue. So I'm gonna just soften that a little bit. I'm gonna use this color also painting around over here because I see that also a little bit darker. So I'm gonna put a little dark color over here too, a little dark color over here, and a little dark color at the edge over here. Just keep analyze. Most of the time I see that as dark color first before seeing what color is it, right? It's a habit. It's a good habit. So I'm gonna keep thinking about that way. Okay, this is good. And the ear over here might be light up a little bit. Just use the corner of this brush. That's okay. And there's a little shadow of the color here coming down like here. Okay. All right. We're going to paint the outside. We're going to use this 1-inch brush. Here you go. And if you have something a little bit smoother, in that case, you can wet the whole area before you start painting it. But it's the same thing. If you use a large brush, you don't have to, wet the paper. You actually wet the paper as you're painting the color into it. So I'm going to mix this red and Windsor blue green shade. So I'm going to start with a little bit cooler color. Okay. A little bit more blue. That's good. I'm going to have a lot more water. I'm going to start right here. You see that? And at this point, you just want to cover the background as fast as you can. Okay, now here you go. Like that. And as you paint, you can change colors. Okay, I'm gonna coming around over here, take a look at the edge. Now here you go. Are you painting with me? Are you afraid? Okay, don't be afraid. Just paint. And I already have an issues because the cover is part of the head, and I'm going to get it back shortly. So I'm going to use the same color, continue. Now you see a little gap over here. I'm just going to use the corner of this. Okay, just paint it like that. And that's good enough. I'm going to paint it over here. See a little bit. Just move the brush, change the angle. Do you know what area I cover by mistake? I'm testing the observation. Okay, now coming over here. We'll come back to take care of that later. Over here, take care of that. So this is what I mean. You are actually painting as you are wetting the paper. I'm going to keep going on the front side. And the front over here has a little bit more red color, but you can change it. You don't have to do what the reference telling you to do. Okay, I'm going to have this a little bit too bright, get a little bit more blue color. And now here you go. Like that. I'm going to go a little bit faster, as mixed color as I'm going. Here you go. Wetting this. I'm going to take a look at the front of the girl. Okay. That is just how you lay your paper. And if you have it flat to the table, there's a wet spot, you're going to stay in the middle of the paper. That's just why it creates that texture. If you have it tilted a little angle, the excess water, the excess paint, the wet would coming down. So it won't stay in the middle of the painting, the paper. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Just watch the video. I explained that in the previous class. I bet you did not come to that 1 hour art fundamental. Hopefully you have the time to look into it, and it should be open later this afternoon. Okay, I'm gonna come in over here and come in over here. Okay, now coming down. I make sure I have enough wet, but at the same time, I'm making sure that the contrast will be enough. Okay, I'm going to mix a little bit darker color. Here you go. There's 2 colors. It's right in front of the face. I want the face to a little bit sharper at the front. So in that case, I'm making sure I have enough dark color over here. See that? Right here. Now I'm going to pay attention to the contour of the girl. I'm going to have it like this, and the face and the nose coming out over here. See that? Okay, now I'm going to make the turn. Here you go. Now I'm going to turn around, take a look. The angle of this a little bit too much. We move a little bit. You do have time. Watercolor can dry in a matter of a few minutes, but if you have a really wet surface, you still have time to change it. Now I'm going to take a look over here, going around, and then the chin. Here you go. Just pay attention, and the observation is very important. Again, we do have class to train. We have video libraries inside the community. And if you want to have more live, live training with the class, you need to consider to come in to learn with us in the fundamental classes. And the fundamental classes is going to keep going until our member, they're all okay with the fundamental skills. Okay, so every 3 months, we're going to offer that training again. Again, this is not a public class. It's just member training. So you do need to become a member. At least you commit to it, learning with us before you can join the class. Okay, that's good. Now it's a very nice, very sharp edge, and this will be the foundation. Now I'm going to come in here, use the same color over here. I'm going to come in back to this side. Here you go, like that. And now I'm going to come in back over here again. This is already dry. See that? How easy. And if you tilt it in an angle. Now I'm going to come in here. Now let me talk to you about what actually I missed. Because I'm talking, I should not blame on talking, right? Because that's the way I always paint. And this is supposed to be lift it up. Okay, I want to get that light color back on. So you see how easy this brush can remove the color. That's a very good opportunity to demonstrate the functions of this brush. Now, here we go. You can just loosen it and then lift the color up. Here you go. Now that's how you return the light space. Okay. Now I'm going to start paint the back again. I want it to be even darker. On the bottom over here is accumulate the wet. And make sure I use the dry brush just to remove those, because otherwise the color is going to push back up when the top is continue drying. So that is one way to avoid the run back effect. Okay, now I'm going to come back over here and take a look. I'm going to mix a little bit darker color. Okay, get a little blue. That's two colors together. It's beautiful. I'm going to just put the color over here like that. I'm going to have a little bit more blue color. Actually, I see a little beautiful blue color right over here like that. I'm going to do this again. Here you go. It's the paintings are all about how you think. Yeah. Yes, it need to be wet and loosen the color. That's the first part. Okay. You're asking is how much water do I use when I do the lifting? The first part, you have to be able to lose the color, right? And if you have a dry brush, you cannot lose the color. After you lose the color, and then you dry the brush, and then you lift it up. It's simple, right? Okay, that's good. And then come down over here. I love those questions. And then I'm going to have a little bit red over here. Maybe have a little bit more like a brownish. So get a little yellow and have a little blue together. Okay, mix it well. Otherwise, your brush would have some pure color. And now put it down over here. Here you go. You don't have to go with exactly the colors in the reference. You can change it if you want. And as a matter of fact, you can create some other textures if you want. On the inside over here, I'm gonna use this brush and just painting a little shape over here one more time. And also over here, like this. I'm gonna have a little bit blue color inside over here because that is a quite blue. It's continue coming down here. See that? That's pretty good, right? Doesn't matter where you start or where you're gonna paint first. At this step, we try to cover all the spaces, and then we're gonna come back to do adjusting. Okay, it's not just put it over here and then let it go and then done. Okay, we're always working on the balance again and again to find a perfect balance. Now coming over here, and the balance actually is a personal, it's a feeling. So you want to focus on how you're going to make you feel better, right? I'm going to soften that a little bit so that merge into this kind of being a little bit more connected into that color. Okay, I think the background is pretty good. It's very close to what I want. In this case, I'm also going to try to show you to create a little bit softer feeling in the background. And I'm going to use just my hand. Okay, I'm going to put my hand into the water. Okay, this is my water right here. I'm going to start doing some splash. I'm going to create some feeling, a soft feeling right there that have some effect over there. And also on this side, I'm going to see how this would going to come up with. That's fine. Okay, relax and don't be afraid of anything. This is your painting. And if you don't really like those effects, after it dries, you can soften it. You can remove it. On the edge over here, why not still soft, right? And you see that how much contrast you have. And most of our members understand what I'm saying. Is the edge, it actually create lots of attention. So this is a very sharp edge. And also, when you're looking at this painting, right, the sharpest, the highest contrast is right over here. So what are you going to do with this? You want to reduce the contrast. What you're going to do, I'm going to use the large brush so I can focus on the big area. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a little darker color, which is also warmer over here. I'm going to have that because that also go through seeing the head and coming down over here and like that. You have this color, and this color is similar value to the outside color. And I'm sure this color, the wet color, is going to push the color around, have some texture. That would be fine, okay? No panic. I'm going to remove a little color. Now I'm going to soften the edge a little bit because that one way we can see the soft hair, fuzzy hair over here. And also create a little bit steps between the two colors, have a little bit transition. I'm going to have a little bit kind of light brown color. Here you go. I'm going to have it down over here. Here you go. Now it's much comfortable. You see that? This is the edge becomes softer now. And sometimes you use the brush, the whole brush like this. Sometimes you use the side of the brush. Okay, that's good. And some small details, we can take care of that a little bit later. And I think I'm going to make this even darker. I'm going to take a little bit darker color over here. I'm going to have a little bit softer, a little bit more transition step. That's good. Right. Okay, so the back over here. Take care of the edge. That's called take care of the relationship. It's very important. Now we're going to take care of up over here. Still going to be a little bit darker. I'm going to take this color. And also on the top also have a little bit more red. I'm going to just use the side of this brush. Put a little dark color, the gap over there. And showing a little dark color over here too. Okay. Enjoying art community. And by looking at the name, We want everyone enjoying art. And I always want a community of my own. So when I was in my first college, I created one that is only within the college. So now we have the global community. That's really good, going well. And the top over there, I'm going to have a little bit red color. So you're thinking about the value, but immediately you're also thinking about the color right after. So I'm going to just put the red color over here. Just pure red. See that? That's very simple. Okay, some of the soft transitions, soft details, we'll take care of that later. Okay, I will show you step by step. Okay, this is good. And I can find something else to paint over here. It's getting dry. You see that? You don't have to wait. You just keep rotating, taking care of the big area and then smaller area, big area and then small area. Yeah. We try to create a transition over here earlier, but you see that after you dry and this color become so light, in that case, you're going to come back to paint again. I like the feeling of the direct painting. You have something you want to do, you want to feel, you want to talk about inside of your mind, right? In that case, you're going to communicate that. So you don't want to say calculate it, okay, like a machine. Like over here, I'm going to have to do it number 4, number 5. But however, if you don't feel that way, it may not really communicate well all the way from the process, from the beginning to the end. Also allow yourself to change your mind. Okay, you don't have to stick to what you thought about. Okay, yeah, through the process, think about, oh, I don't feel that way. I just change it. Okay, all right. Now I'm gonna come to add some color on the top over here, and this is already dry, and the outside it's almost dry. So after that dry, I'm gonna paint the head over here. This is already dry, so I'm gonna paint the pink color. So why don't I use the calligraphy brush now, a little bit smaller area. So this brush can open up like a flat brush, a mid-sized flat brush, and it can be open up this. The hair is very tender, very good. And now I'm going to just get the red color with this a little French ultramarine, which also called the red shade blue color. Now I'm going to put it right over here. That's good, right? Now I'm going to put a little color over here and look like that. It's good, like this, coming up, little color, interesting. We can do the pattern a little bit later, okay? That's good. Now this is a little bit softer. Just open it up like a small flat brush. It's just going to use this to make this a little soft transition. Just remove the excess wet like that and have that coming down over here like that. It's good. So very easy to modify the color. And now I'm going to put this color back over here too. And on this side, you can see that there's a little change. Okay. And also on this side, I see a little change. This color already dried. So it's okay, it's safe to put the color if you don't want it to be just almost together. Okay, like that. So with this a little bit additions of the small shape, you can feel that there is the two strip actually have the relationship. I'm going to soften that coming down like that. That's good. Now let's continue. Get all the color together and then come back to do any adjusting. Okay. Now I'm going to change back to my the 1-inch flat brush. This is already dry. We're waiting for that to be dry. I'm going to add a little red color over here. That's it. Add a little bit red shade blue color. I'm going to put the color over here. Even though like you're seeing the whole head, it doesn't look much difference between the left side and the right side. But however, the light coming from this angle. So this is lighter, this is darker. So I'm going to add a little color over here, but I'm going to use this color to gradually blend it in to make it a little bit lighter and lighter going to the other side. Okay, coming like this. There you go. Coming to the top over here. Now a little bit lighter and lighter, like that. Now I'm going to just use the water, soften it. There you go. In the watercolor fundamentals, we're going to talk a lot about how we use the water. You remember, watercolor start with water before color. So how important that you use the watercolor effectively, because how wet, how saturation of the color would be. Now, this is already wet, so if you put some color over here, if you want to have a clean edge, you have to wait until this dry, right? So I'm going to use the dry brush, just dry a little bit, lift a little bit up, so help it to dry a little bit faster. Okay, now we're going to get away from that. We're going to come back to the face. We're going to try to develop some nice transition. You start laying down the foundation color, but you don't want to try to finish the face, because what we are trying to achieve is a balance. It's a new creation. This is not about copying the photograph. We have our new vision. We have our own ideas. And through this whole process, you're going to make that feeling stronger and stronger and stronger. What you are learning through the community, it is the process that allow yourself to release your personal feeling into the painting. Now we're going to add a little more information. Like seeing the eye over here, I can see a little bit more green color. When I see the little green color, that means a little bit yellow and a little bit blue color, right? I take a little yellow color over here. I'm going to mix in this. This already have some blue color in it, right? And get that color. Maybe the color is not as strong, but this should be good enough. Look like a little bit more green than anywhere else. So I'm going to see this color a little bit darker, but also a little bit cooler. So I'm going to put that color in here. That's good. Yeah. The question is how I can avoid making the color muddy. It's come back to what I just said. This is not about what color is muddy. It is the color and the other color next to it, or maybe this color among the entire color composition. It may be in the wrong place, maybe the wrong darkness, maybe in the wrong contrast. In that case, that we have the feeling of muddy. It's not about color. So any color can be muddy if you put the wrong color in the composition. If you're already a member, let's learn together, try to have a better color sense. So your sensitivity is playing a big role over there. If you use like 12 color, 24 colors, have a full range of colors, you sometimes can't feeling that you manage the color. In fact, you are managed by the colors. I'm not sure you have the same feeling. So by using a small color palette, it really helps you to overcome that fear. And also you understand better about the color mixing and the color composition. So, all right, let's keep going over here. I just put a little yellow, blue, little green, gray color. So under here, I'm going to looking at, keep thinking about how dark the color, and then think about how warm, how cool the color. I'm going to put over here a little bit warmer color. Here you go. I'm going to get a little bit lighter of this, maybe a little red. So keep thinking about that. And when you paint more, and you will have a better feeling of what you want when you're in the painting process. And also seeing the different colors a little bit more faster, more productive, also more sensitive. So I have this, the top over here a little bit cooler, the bottom over here a little bit warmer, like that. And this is good, right? Now I'm gonna put a little color to the nose, okay? So we're gonna have more classes, even the public classes down the road, okay? If you have other questions, and you can, I think my suggestion would be follow some of my video, and I explain why I painted that way, why I use that color. Okay, in every step, I'm gonna get a little red color over here. This feel a little bit warmer. And how you analyze the color, and it would make you feel feel a little bit better. So I have this color over there, that's fine. I can soften a little bit, just use the tip of the brush. Now, when you paint, it's not about color as much as the value. And like over here, I paint the red color, but however, I'm looking for this area supposed to be a little bit darker compared to the outside over here, a little bit lighter. Okay, so I'm gonna have a little color over here, make it a little bit darker, coming through over here. Now I'm gonna use just a little bit lighter, like that, coming this way. A little bit lighter red color. Okay, take that color. And then connect it over here. And now this color gradually coming up a little bit lighter. Now I'm gonna use the brush. When I open it up, it looks like a flat brush. Now this time, actually the value would be look much better. Okay, like that. So if I haven't answered your question fully, I apologize. That is in the short timing. I know there's some question that cannot be explained fully in a matter of couple minutes. You might want to following my other lessons. It just continue digest from that. Okay, I'm gonna get a little blue color. Continue. This is also wet into wet. See that? Because the color wet, and because I tilt it in a little angle, and it continuously coming down this way, and the color merge together. Okay, like that. And then a little bit lower, I'm gonna get a little more red color, and as the reflection. Yes. The question is, should I learn watercolor before learning oil? My suggestions would be, you should learn oil before you learn watercolor. Because watercolor has a lot of restraint, like the timing. We have an oil program, and we're going to have a new one coming up very soon. I want to just come in to explore to see what is your control over the color. And oil allows you to have a longer time to keep changing back and forth. And that is just the advantage of painting oil. And see, I'm going to put a little dark color over here because see, this is see-through, right? See-through behind the hair, that's just the skin color. And I'm going to come back over here, have a little bit color. Let's see that the lower lip over here. Let's see in the value, it's a little bit darker. Now I'm going to have that color over here, connect that like this. Now the contrast is lessened. I'm going to just open up the brush and softly have that merge together a little bit. Okay, that's just good. And we're going to continue add a little bit shadow on the upper lip over here too. You see that? That is a little color coming up like this. And gradually get a little bit lighter and lighter. Okay. And we just finished, add a little color over here. So we have that a little bit connected between light and dark. And I'm going to use my flat brush and do a little adjustment. Like over here, just use the corner of this brush. Look at here. And here, just use the large brush, act as a small brush, right? Earlier, you already see how I easily lift up the light color over there. It's the same way, because this brush has so much hair, you can very easily lift up the color. Okay, again, come to enjoyingart.com/brushes. You can find those brushes. Simplified the painting process, as simplified the tools that we're using. Okay, that's good. I'm going to use the large brush too. I'm going to just take the red color. I'm going to have this a little bit darker, also softer red color coming up this way. And doing the adjusting, this brush is doing the most job, and actually the best job. Okay, like that. And also I can even tap a little color in the nose over here. That will be fine. Now I'm going to take a look at the top over here. Definitely it's a little bit too light. So I'm going to have a little yellow color, have a little red color. Now here you go. I get the light brown color. You see that? I'm always thinking about how dark, how light. So less about the color, more about the value. Okay, I'm going to make that a little bit darker, like that. Coming over. That's good. Now the face have a better form, right? That's good. Look at the ear. Now I'm gonna need to make the color a little bit darker. And here you go. Coming over here, make it a little bit darker shape. And the bottom have a little bit more red shade. Okay. Soften that out. Have a little bit red. Just use the corner of this. And a little bit red. Here you go. The bottom over here have a little bit more red. That's good. Now I'm going to come back to the head. Now see that always has a timing, right? You don't have to say I have to finish everything. Okay. Here I also want to reduce the contrast between the outside and the inside. So I actually add a little bit darker color, not just the red, just darker color over here. I'm going to make it a little bit softer. So here you go. Like that. That's good. And also the hair showing a little bit more rounded. That's good. Now I'm going to come to use the calligraphy brush and add a little shape underneath. I'm going to get the red and get this screen of my eye so you can see how dark is the color. So that's good. I'm going to take this, see the shape over here. Okay, like that. I'm going to leave a couple spot a little bit lighter. There you go. Like that. Okay. I'm going to add this color to here. Okay, here you go. You can see how this brush can create the shape. Can be a really big, a bigger shape like that. And over here, I'm going to just give it a little bit holes in here. Like that. And the top, I can leave it the way it is. That's will be fine. And coming over here, have another shape, a little bit darker shape. And so always have a time for it. It's no rush, no panic. Okay, coming over here, like that. We're also going to give it a few holes over here. Let's give a little suggestions. That's good enough. And coming over here, now I have another shape like that. Just think about shape. That's good, right? All right, that interesting. Now I'm gonna also add a little bit color for the silky fabric over here. I'm gonna add that a little bit over here. That's fine. A little big shape over here have some interesting little decoration like that. Okay, we'll come back to the head a little bit later and still wet. Right, now I'm gonna take a look at the color, and I'm gonna make sure I have a little deeper colors into the dark area, which is right under the head. There's just not much light get into it. You see this color, how dark is it? You don't have to use the black color. It's just all you need is the red, the Windsor blue, red green shade, right? Windsor blue green shade with the red color, because I already have a little yellow color here. Just two color together makes a very dark color. Now this is good. I'm gonna put that color in here. See that? How dark is it? Can you see that? Really dark. Okay, like that. Here you go. And coming over here, I'm gonna have a little shape. You see that? Push it down and lift it up, and you have a nice expression. Okay, like that. Okay. And coming over here, we're gonna put a little shape in the ear over here, and that's good. I'm gonna add a little bit like that. That's good. I'm gonna come back over here. You see, small and big, and then move it. You see how expressive that your brush stroke can make. I'm going to have a little yellow color, and I'm going to have a little bit light brown color like this. I'm going to continue with this. We're also going to do some organizations of the color. Yeah. And with the large brush, I'm going to have a little bit shape over here. See that? Like this. And then here. And I'm going to divide the shape, become a little bit smaller. Like that. I'll show you. And behind this, there's a little darker shape. So I'm going to get a little yellow color into here, have a little blue, a little bit red. Now become a much darker brown color, right? And also have some tutorial. It's about how to mix colors. You can go with those tutorial step by step, and you can get more and more comfortable with the 3 color system. Okay, and a little bit open up over here, and the top over here, I'm gonna have a little bit darker color, darker brown, and have a little dry brush. That's fine, like that. And the top over there, I'm gonna add a little bit red color. Here you go, a little bit more red color. Here you go. Because that is just the color effect onto the hair from the head. Okay, a little bit more red color over here too, like that. If they're wet in wet affected, that will be fine. I'm going to add a little red color into the ear again, because I want it to be darker and I want it to be warmer. Okay, it looks like through the camera, it looks very, very bright, but in fact, it's fine. Okay, here you go, soften a little bit. Now you can see darker, lighter, and have nice transition over here. Okay, now I'm gonna come back, try to finish the painting. Okay, and you maybe think about, really? You are finished the painting already? Yeah, we have been 1 hour in this painting so far. I'm gonna have this a little bit darker and start adding some detail to it. Okay, right over here. Okay, that's good. And the color can be a little bit lighter. So I'm going to take this a little brown color. That's good. Just the shadow. And on the other side, I'm going to have a little bit of this purple color. Just like that. And see that? That's easy. I'm going to get a little bit red color with this. Okay, that's good. More red. That's right. I'm going to see that a little gap over here. That's beautiful. Right? That's cool. I'm going to have the little brown color coming on this side. Hi. Very good question. Because a watercolor, after it dries, it looks lighter. So we always paint darker. That is something worth to practice. But how dark it should be, one hand you want to keep have a direct communication with about your feeling at the moment, but at the other hand, you're aware of the painting would get a little bit lighter after it dries, so you can practice yourself as seeing the color. You predict it. I can make it a little bit slightly a little bit darker color, and then after it dries, it should be fine. To be the color that perfectly. But with the other hand, you need to be a little bit careful about, because you put the color a little bit darker, unless you put all the color a little bit darker. Otherwise, you're feeling kind of like a disconnected between those colors, even though when it finished, it looks fine, right? My suggestions would be, if you're painting again and again, you automatically adapt into that feeling that you see the color can be a little bit darker. But however, you always can just paint with what you feel, how you see, all the color connected, because I'm painting as the whole painting gradually, like moving forward. It's not like a painting one color and the other color. So making sure all those colors together to create a very cohesive color and value composition. And that's what's more important than getting the color accurate. Now I'm going to take a look at the eye. Now let's take a look at the eyebrows. I'm going to come into the little yellow. and just a little bit more brown color. I'm gonna take this, a little blue color, a little red. Are you guys having fun? Okay, now coming over here, I'm gonna add a little bit darker color, and that's it. And I'm gonna take a look at the eye. We're gonna take a look at inside the eye. And inside the eye have a little bit blue color, so I'm gonna take this little blue color, start with this, in here. Here you go, like that. That's good. And I might have even more blue, so I'm gonna take a little bit more blue. Okay, that's good. That's the first step. I'm gonna paint a darker color a little bit later after you dry. Now I'm gonna take care of the nose a little bit, and now I need to do a little cleanup. And the nose over here, there's a little color coming over. Just use this brush, just in the corner, and soften that. Make that a little bit lighter. Okay, that's good. That's better. Now I'm gonna change my direction. I'm gonna just paint the mouth before I come to paint the nose. So I'm gonna paint a little bit lighter over here, like that. And under here, add a little bit darker color. First use this red color. That under lip. That after you dry, I'll come back to give a little bit darker color to it. And I'm gonna have a little bit gray color. Okay, over here need to be a little bit darker again. Keep thinking about dark and light. So I'm gonna blend that over like that. That's good. And now I'll take a look, and this is fine. I'm going to just soften that a little bit. Hi, a little bit softer. That's good. Now that works really good. Now we need to find something else to do. So I'm going to use this 1-inch flat brush. I'm going to do a little lifting to create the illusion of the hair. So just make it a little bit more clear, a little bit sharper this direction. Now what I want to do, I'm going to do a little lifting over here. You see that? Lifting really good for creating the illusion of soft hair. And I'm going to have this coming over. See that? Here you go. Now that's good. I'm gonna have the hair a little bit coming over here, a little loose here. Okay. Now, nice illusion. On this side, I'm gonna also have the hair a little bit open over here. Here you go. A little bit softer. Even though the shape's already there, but I still want it to be feeling a little bit softer. So I'm gonna have a little hair over here too. A little soft coming down like this. That's good. And take a look at the back over here. I also want to clear a little bit, do some organization. Okay. Nice. Like that. And pretty good. Now take a look at, if this is the hair over here, I also want it to be a little bit more clear. And by doing this, allow the face to dry. I'm going to come back to finishing up with the details. So you can see that it's the whole painting process. It just go through the simple few steps. You can get to it. The self-control of following the process is very important. So, okay, here you go. It's a little bit softer. Nice. Feeling the hair. It's very soft hair over there. And we can come back to a little bit more. And over here, I'm going to have a little bit softer. So feeling the hair, it kind of gradually and soft and loose and blend into the background. So you can see that feeling by using the lifting. Yeah, the lifting is create a better edges. Okay, like that. All right, I'm going to come back to do the eye again. And over here, first, I'm going to lift a little bit for the upper eyelid. And better off, which is not lifting. We just add the color on a little bit top, and we can do a little separation. And any color they add to it, it's always look darker than the color before because there's translucent color, translucent watercolor, like that. It's a little bit darker over high. Maybe have some over here a little bit darker, but you don't want this to be the focal point. And if you think this is can ruin the whole feeling of the painting, in that case, you should let it go. It's not about making it perfect. We are creating a painting, a whole painting, and you don't want to spend too much time on the head. I think the way it's now, it would be fine. Okay, it's just not too bad. And the head over here also going to maybe add a little bit shape over here, and you can have a little bit darker, so we can have a little gap come back over here at the feeling of the gap. Okay, like that. And you analyze it, and then you decided what you're gonna do, what you should do, right? Over here too, I'm gonna have a little bit like that. That will be fine. Okay, not too nervous about the accuracy. It's more focused on how you deliver the whole thing as a painting. Okay, now I'm gonna come into mix a really dark color for the iris. I'm gonna take this blue color with the red, and this color is very, very dark. Okay, see that? That's the darkest color you can get. Okay, here you go. I'm gonna take a look in here. I'm gonna look at the iris. It's very dark. As soon as you're putting those details in, your feeling is more like a complete, but you try to avoid have the feeling too early. I'm gonna get this a little bit darker because you may miss something even more important than make it look finished. It's the cohesive balance and of the whole painting. Okay, like that. Okay, now come back here, and I'm going to have a little bit lighter for the eyelashes. So let go some of the color, and maybe have a little bit more red, like that, a little bit more gray. See, all the color we have is just a few the very few primary colors. Okay, now having the eyelashes right there, like that. And now going to have that a little bit softer, connect that a little bit softer here. Okay, that a little bit better. I'm gonna actually clean the brush and sharpen that a little bit. Now I'm gonna have this actually a little bit more connected into here, and at the same time I'm going to lift up a little color. This calligraphy brush also can lift up a little color on the upper eyelid. I'm gonna make that a little bit lighter, like that. Okay, make that a little bit lighter, but I don't want to touch with the dark color in the iris. Okay, now a little bit better. We come back to a little bit more adjustment a little bit later, and in here I still leave a little bit color, a little bit lighter. That's good. Now come to the nose. Now is the time. Get to the nose here. Get a little bit yellow into this color, and make a little brown color. I think too much wet over here, so I'm gonna start let go some of the wet color. Okay, here you go. Now I'm gonna come back here. That's color, that's not bad. Just need a little bit more red color. Okay, like that. At the edge, at the lower part of the nose. Gonna get that color in here, and have the nostril over here, right under. That's good, like that. Okay, Now we create a nice suggestions of the roundness of the nose, like that. And then the top over there, I'm going to also use this color, maybe a little bit yellow. Just keep adjusting, looking for the color. Is that a little bit more yellow, a little bit more red, a little bit more blue? And after you do it enough, and you can make a very quick judgment, and that's good. The form and a little bit greenish color, and the front over here. Okay, and we're gonna come back to give it even a little bit more sharper definitions, and that's good. Now we're gonna paint it into the mouth, and we're gonna have this color. Actually pretty good, and maybe a little bit blue color. It looks like a little bit too red, too strong. Now I'm gonna take a look here. Is that this a little bit darker? This area, see, go like that. That's good. And now take a look at the lower lip. And first I'm going to soften this. This need to be a little bit darker, soften that together like that. Okay, now since it's wet, I'm going to come back to that a little bit later. But we have something else to do on the lower eyelid. Just make a little bit darker right here. And that's good. And I'm going to use the same color. I'm going to have the upper eyelid over here. See that? Now this needs to be darker. That. You can see the separation. Then create a form a little bit better. Okay, like this. You don't have questions? And now I'm going to come into the little bit. Oh, this is a great color. This is good for this. A little bit. Put it on and have a little shadow. Get a little few line coming down. So those are considered details work. So you don't have to do it early. You can do it now, right? A little bit later. I'm gonna on the edge over here, like that. Good suggestions. Okay, over here a little bit darker. And also the top a little bit more red. I'm gonna get a little red over here, like that. That's getting there. Okay. I think one more thing I'm gonna do, and the background. I'm gonna make the background even a little bit deeper. So I'm gonna do the background one more time as adjusting. I'm gonna soften this color a little bit and come backward to the eye before I go back to the background. I'm gonna take this color, a little bit yellow. I'm going to take a look at the edge over here. There's a little thin line. Okay, that have a little thin line over here. That's good. Now the eye look much better. Also, the lower eyelid has also eyelashes. Okay, have a little bit darker color somewhere in the eyelash. Okay, right here, like that. That's good. Yeah, that's good. Now we come back to the nose. Nose over here, nostril, a little bit darker. You see that? You're always rotating your working process. So you can come back to, and when it's ready, right? Over here like this. Okay, and also in here, under here, have a little bit darker. See the little bit darker color showing is the neck over here has shadow like that. And under here have some orange color, a little brighter. So get the yellow, get the red. Okay, beautiful orange color. Here you go. Coming over here, a little bit orange color, a little bit darker over here. Take a look at that. Okay, soften that a little bit. And I'm going to leave a little bit colors on here. I'm going to clear this. I'm going to take a look at. You see that? Now you can create the illusion of soft hair coming out like that. I'm going to leave a little bit coming in over here. Right, that's good. Now I'm going to create a little bit stronger background. Now I'm going to come back over here. Now I'm going to take a little blue color. I'm going to even just put the blue color right in here. You can always come back to readjusting the color. And it's just not what you want. I'm going to put a little bit red into here. Now I'm going to add a little bit more water and softly coming down here. And in fact, I'm going to have a little overlapping on the edge because I don't want the edge a little bit too sharp. Like that, that's good. Now this brush is now softened. So if that bothering you, okay, here, coming a little bit water. Okay, here you go. You can always come back to do another round of adjustment. Why you're doing the adjustment is for the feeling, for the balance that you want to achieve. Now I'm gonna have a little bit red color in here. I'm gonna come in the front over here. Here you go. And after you're doing that, I'm gonna come to the front over here. Gonna get this color a little bit coming again and create a better contrast. Okay, look at that. And this color can also come into the here. And take a look at it one more time. Take a look at the edge over here, the forehead. Here you go. One more time. Now, it's a lot more organized. Take a look at the mouth. Here you go. Like that, going in a little bit. And this can give you a second chance to create more contrast, or maybe change the outline, the shape of the face. Okay, like that. Now I'm going to have a little bit red, a little bit yellow. I'm going to have that color a little bit warmer on this side. Have it. You see how easy by using this 1-inch brush. It's just so easy. But you need to learn how to control it, because just like a wild horse, you're going to have a little bit loss of hair. How you're going to use the advantage of this large brush. You see the color coming down. I think the painting is almost there. Okay, so now I want to see if you have any questions, and I'm gonna do a little bit pattern over here, and I'm gonna get a little red and use this color. Okay, too much red. Okay, a little color like this. I don't want to color it too dark. It's just a very soft color. Okay, a little bit soft color, and now doing a little bit, so showing the perspective a little bit better, like that. And here you go, a little bit like that. And then over here, a little bit darker, like that. Here you go. And then looks like that's a little getting dry, so I'm gonna actually make the color back in a little bit red. The color back in over here, make the consistency. Here you go. Now it's much better, consistent in the background. If you use a small brush, it's just not going to do as effective as the large brush because it creates a better smooth related texture. And if you have the small brush, you have to either wet the whole area to try to make it consistent. But use a large brush, it just makes more sense in so many different levels. Okay, like that. You can see how the things connected together. If nobody has any questions. Okay, if you have any question, let me know, and we're going to give you everything you need. So you can always come back to do more or more adjusting as you go. Like over here, I'm gonna have a little adjusting the color. Like over here, I want this hair connected over. What we're gonna do? I'm gonna use just the sideway. Okay, the side direction, and going through over here, the side direction. Here you go. Now you see that you make the hair is a lot more interesting. Right? I'm gonna have a little bit coming down over here, like that. That's good. And the side over here, I'm gonna see the shoulder turning around. Interesting. How we're gonna decide on how much yellow, how much red, or yellow or red on the face? That is a great question. You need to practice and develop a good sense of what color in that mixture. Between the three colors together, you see that which color closest? Definitely the red color. And when we get to the shoulder over here, it's not just the red. It's have a little bit closer to more like an orange. In that case, you would mix the red over here. For example, I mix the color right now. The red, but not just red. I have a little bit yellow. I'm going to take a little yellow and then put it over here. It's just fine like that. So I think it's just all about your training of your sensitivity. Okay, there's no shortcut over there. If you have a better sense of it, and you better have a better judgment. Now I'm going to just having the shadow side of this, and in that case, it would make it look like it's actually the shoulder rounded, right? It's all connected with your understanding as well of the anatomy. Okay, I'm gonna have this color actually going in over here too, because that is a part of the skin over there. And lift it up a little bit and connect it over. That is good, right? And the front over here, I think should be a little bit darker, so I continue adjust it. But that color definitely is not just red. It have a little bit more cooler color, close to the blue color. So I'm gonna mix this color in here. Now I'm gonna put it over here. See that? Now it's perfect, right? So it's all about how you are related to the color and why you are observing, analyzing, and it's a good question. Some of the things that we just have to put in some hard work and follow my video to do more practice and you will get it. Okay, here you go. I'm gonna have this a little bit high. For members, yeah. Members always can post their work in the relaxation. Oh, relaxation art, our public one. The problem is, do we have time to review? That's the main issues. Okay, that's good. That's just great. It just go to the wiki just post over there, the link over there, and the people to go over. And some of us will go over to give suggestions. How about that? That's good. Good idea. Okay. And yeah, there's two parts in the lifting process. One is to loosen the color. One is lift it up. So you have to lose the color before you can lift up. Otherwise, nothing for you to lift up. Like right now, I'm going to show you. So I'm going to put it in. This is a full load of water. I'm going to show you over here. You see how much water. I'm going to put the paper over here. You see that? And it will start dripping down, right? It can be very wet. You see that? How wet is it? So I'm just gonna let go a little bit, and that's it. That's still very wet. So I'm gonna just use the corner of the brush and just tap on it. And now I'm losing this color, this area, right? I have to let the color loose in order to lift. And if the color is not loose, you can't lift it with a dry brush. I'm going to soften that a little bit over here. Now I'm going to dry the brush totally. Use the two fingers, okay? Just let that go. Okay, that's no water here. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to start lift up the color by just absorb the wet and the color together. Now over here I'm going to leave a very soft, very small line. How I'm going to do that? So I'm going to add a little water back in over here, but making sure the tip is really sharp. Now here you go. I'm going to have a little line over here. You do it a couple of times like that. Here you go. Now you have a small line like this coming over, and over here I'm gonna also do a little lifting. That's good. And after that, I also need to add a little bit darker brown color. So get a little yellow over here, a little red, and have a little bit more red color and a little blue, and then two green, so I have a little bit more red. Now I got this color, a little bit more blue. Okay, that's good. Oh, in that case, you need to have more paint, less water. When I take the water, and I always use this two finger and to control how much water I want to keep. And for say I'm gonna have a really wet mixture, I would take more water. If not, I'm gonna let go. But you don't want to keep your brush dry. In that case, you cannot take the color in. If there's too much water over here in the puddle, what you need to do is just have to use the paper towel to dry it, and then you will mix the color. And how much water that you need in the painting is very critical. It's a basic watercolor technique, a basic color skill. We have to master that. There's no other way around, right? So I'm going to take this color also here. Yeah, it say hake. I'm not sure what that make any difference. It's the flat brush as a gold here. It's gold here. I'm gonna have a little bit. It's a soft gold here, and not just a regular gold here. It's like a different part of the gold, and actually can let you to have a different have different hair, different strength, different spring, and so on. Yeah. That is interesting. I'm not actually going with those rules. I want to get to the balance for the whole painting as quick as I can. That's just my mission. Because it's not, you don't have to go with the rules. Some rules make sense, some rules don't. Okay, just someone else's experience. They're just telling you part of the reason, but they may not tell you the whole reason to doing one way or the others. So you have to make sure that you get to how you feel, how you express yourself, more important than any of those rules that you are afraid to violate, and to see what works for you. If you can get a painting make you feel good, I think that's the most important. The question is, compare painting adult and the children's. Do you need to be careful about the skin? Generally speaking, yes, the children have a little bit more tender skin. Careful about the contrast and how the color work together to produce the feeling of a soft skin. And also some glowing effect on the children's skin. Also need to try to capture it as well. So there's also lots of things you can gradually master by doing more and more practice. Let's take a look at close up to here. Texture over here, if you want to let go it, that's as easy. Just use the large brush, and I'm gonna have some color over here, have a little red color. I can coming over here, maybe one more round. Okay, like that. And that color would merge into the background. enjoyingart.com. If you're already a member, you know how to get around. And there's a video right on the homepage telling you the benefit that the Enjoying Art members can have. If you're already a member, get familiar with all the benefits. Eastern Standard Time, 9 to 10 o'clock, we have a painting together. As a whole, enjoying our community. We're taking some fun reference every week. You can see everyone's table and also everyone seeing your table. And when you ask questions, I will be able to respond to you, and I would talk to you through the whole painting process. And we also have another hour painting together on Friday in the evening, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the reason having two timing because our members, they are from all over the world with the different time zone. So we have two different time, so we'll be satisfied most members need. Enjoying Art is all about helping members to achieve to become the best artist they can. If you're doing the background again and again, would destroy the paper. That's a very good question. Thinking about that, mainly there's two things you need to consider. One is the brush that you use. If the brush is used, it's very hard. The gold hair, sable hair, they're very soft. They should be fine. But if you use the oil painting, acrylic painting brush, yeah, it would destroy the paper. And second thing is about the paper that you use. Some paper is so easy to get destroyed. Using this brush, and this brush, these two brushes, is very, very gentle, very soft. It won't hurt your paper. Even the most rigid paper, they still would be fine. If you use enough water. The paper that I'm using is artist paper, is considered one of the strongest paper. Some members thinking about it say, oh my God, I cannot lift the colors. But with this brush, you can lift almost any color. It's so easily. And that would be fine. Thank you for coming to celebrate our member exhibition. Okay, we already have a very caring community. Help members better every day and more relaxing and happier.